I'm Stephen Main. Welcome to the Main Report, where we are still on cloud nine after Saturday's federal election. I was standing as an independent candidate against Peter Costello in the seat of Higgins and got 2% of the vote. Now 2% is actually in the worst 5 of my results in 35 different contested elections over the years. So what's good about 2%, you say? Well, for starters, I beat the combined vote of the Democrats and Family First, and I finished 4th in an 8-person field, the first time in 35 attempts that I've managed to finish in the first 50% of candidates. Besides, running in Higgins wasn't about winning. It was about getting some issues on the table. First and foremost of which was Peter Costello's ban on me and Crikey from attending the federal budget lockup. I can't see a Labor government doing that after this on-air preference negotiation with Labor Senator Stephen Conroy on Triple R.
Where are you preferencing, Stephen?
Well, I have to do a deal with Conroy before I can tell you that.
What are you putting on the table?
Conroy, can you commit that the Labor Party will let me and Crikey into the next budget lockup?
Look, I'll certainly be talking to Wayne and say absolutely. I mean, it's been ridiculous for a government that keeps claiming that the internet's going to save media diversity to then turn around and lock out the major internet magazine is just absurd. So I'll certainly have a talk to Wayne, and I'll do that whether you give us your preferences or not, Steve.
I'm just filling in the buttons now. You're 6, Labor's 6, and Costello is 7.
A Labor government will also be much better in improving the rights of small shareholders. And with my mate Nick Xenophon now sharing the balance of power in the Senate, there's also a good chance we'll get significant progress on issues like removing ATMs from all poker machine venues. Now, polling day was lots of fun. I went to 10 different booths across the Higgins electorate, but it was most entertaining spending 4 hours on the big Liberal booth at Toorak Uniting Church. Billionaires like Lindsay Fox even politely accepted my how to vote card, and I was shocked when another billionaire, Solomon Lew, did the same, even though he once told the Coles-Myer AGM that he, quote, didn't subscribe to my rubbish. The people at Toorak were incredibly polite and well dressed. Have a look at this wonderful exchange with the very urbane Labor volunteer. Explain how, when you're handing out in Toorak and you're Labor.
Yes.
This is the most presentable face of Labor you'll ever see. Have you ever seen a better dressed Labor worker than on the Toorak booth?
Thank you.
Well done.
Well, I must
what's your name?
Loretta Little.
This is Loretta. She's the best dressed Labor worker in Australia.
The point is that I was absolutely blue blood Liberal. I was.
Were you?
Yes, until Jeff Kennett and John Howard hit the scene.
Well, I used to work for Jeff Kennett,
boom.
and then I'm
Exactly.
preferencing Labor today.
Well, there you go. So
Because
now
Peter
we go.
Costello bans us from the budget lockup. Can you believe that?
I know. He's
So churlish.
He's a bit of a creeper.
He's thin-skinned. When I bumped into Peter Costello at the Paran RSL at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, I told him my goal was to take 3% off his vote in the big Toorak booth. And guess what I got? 3.25%, all of which came straight off Costello's tally. So from my point of view, it was mission accomplished. Finally, it's very sad to see Peter Costello bailing out of politics altogether and probably causing a by-election in Higgins in the coming months. So am I going to stand in the by-election? Unfortunately, my long-suffering wife, Paula Piccinini, has ruled me out of any further involvement in politics. So from now on, it's shareholder activism all the way. That means all these surplus how-to-vote cards are out. And now, back into all the annual reports and shareholder activism. I'm Stephen 2% Main. Just keep doing your best.